Hey Brawlers, and welcome to my review of episode 8 of Armored Alliance. I'm Haru. Last episode we gave it a Bakutastic, but more important are your ratings. You all unanimously agree with me that it was Bakutastic. So we're going to review episode 8, and spoiler warning, if you haven't seen this episode yet, go back and watch it, but if you have, sit back, relax, and enjoy my review of Armored Alliance episode 8. The first part is called the Bakugan Battle League. Oh, hey, maybe a secret battle league, huh? The episode starts with the Awesome Brawlers getting a call to see Benton by Benton's butler droid, Gordon. Didn't I make a Gordon joke in the last episode? When the Awesome Brawlers go to see Benton, Benton explains the lore behind Bakugear and how it actually boosts Vestroya's ecosystem every time it's used.
It seems to be Vestroya's way of assisting Bakugan through difficult battles, which in turn gives a greater amount of energy back to Vestroya and strengthens the energy cycle.
You know, I actually like this. They keep adding on to the lore of the Bakugan universe. Like, Bakugear are viewed as environmental saviors. Not realistic, but cool. Ben shows the Awesome Brawlers his newest project, the Bakugan Coliseum, and looking around, it's actually a really cool place. I think it could actually be replicated into real life. I mean, wouldn't it be fun if this place was actually real? All the Bakugan pro players and fans would gather annually to watch Bakugan games. We're getting off topic here. This is actually the start of Benton's own redemption story, where even though he couldn't control his actions, he still nearly caused the end of the world. Benton's reasoning also reveals that the public confidence in Bakugan has shaken, so he wants to show that Bakugan are good by holding a fun tournament. But for some reason, it's becoming a lot more like the Bakugan Olympics. I also like how Shonen Hydrus just destroys the rest in every contest. It's so funny.
A Bakugan sports competition?
Well, yes. I want people to see the true abilities of these magnificent Bakugan.
Do battles!
Maybe battles are still the best way to highlight Bakugan's appeal, but there must be a way to make them more entertaining.
Do steel cage battles or something! Benton realizes the Bakugan Olympics idea wouldn't work, so while thinking it over, the Awesome Brawlers just screwed around to get the show's one brawl per episode quota. Gordon accidentally opens the pool. That gives Benton the idea of field change battles, and comes up with the entire concept that would be a new arc in this season, the Bakugan Not Secret Battle League. Alright, great establishment of the new arc that's coming. Actually kinda made me kinda hyped for it. Well done! The next part is called the Ancient Elder. During a game of baseball, Drago knocks the ball away, so the Awesome Brawlers are looking for a new ball. They find a rock instead. Yeah, that's safe. And the rock turns out to be a Bakugan, which introduces us to Gilator. You know, the one I still can't find even online. And it turns out Gilator is an ancient Bakugan that's been asleep since the old Vestroya days.
What happened to our home?
The war was lost. Vestroya is now a barren wasteland. Thank God they didn't go that route. Gilator is one of the ancient Bakugan that existed on Earth in ancient times, as Storm has mentioned in a previous episode, proving these theories to be true, which I gotta say is really awesome for Bakugan lore, but turns out Gilator is actually racist towards other faction Bakugan, and his views on life seems to be built on faction segregation.
You do battle with Bakugan from other factions. They are enemies, not friends.
Wow, this is kinda awkward considering the current events right now. Actually, let's play a new game show. How many times Gilator makes racist comments in this episode?
What are those different Bakugan doing here? You do battle with Bakugan from other factions. They are enemies, not friends.
Not liking someone just because they're from another faction doesn't sound very cool.
It's very uncool.
And old-fashioned.
Silence, you little brats! I can't be friends with Bakugan from other factions! Ventus faction is flaky. Aqua's faction are wimps. Heo's faction is a bunch of goody two-shoes. Darka's faction is reckless. Nothing good can come from mixing with Bakugan of different factions.
Yep, we got a sense of Gilator's character, an out-of-touch old man that can't seem to get with the times and refusing to accept change. Kinda reminds me of someone actually, just can't put my finger on it. What really gets me in this episode is that it's teaching kids a subliminal message about racism.
I am now going to assault your mind with subliminal messages.
It's pretty clear, and doing it with Bakugan doesn't make it so spoon-fed and forced. No matter who you are, what you look like, or where you came from, you can always be friends and work together. and I really applaud Bakugan for tackling this issue on a kids show, even if it does get a little hilarious. But if it's not the racism message that would get to the kids, it would be the overall gameplay message of Bakugan as well. See, in the real life game of Bakugan, they encourage mixing factions. While running mono factions is fine, to each their own, they still encourage mixing factions as their strengths can complement each other. And you know, this is actually pretty clever, not only teaching kids real life lessons, but also giving gaming advice for the real life game. Yu-Gi-Oh! Would be proud. Skeletor teams up with Drago to take on Trunks and Hydrus to prove to them his views are right, but Skeletor doesn't even ask Drago to help and starts getting wailed on. But then Dan unleashes Skeletor's Bakugear, Drago finishes them off, and it seems Skeletor comes around and accepts diversity and joins the Awesome Brawlers to end the show. So that was episode 8 of Armored Alliance. Let me know what your rating was in the comments down below. This episode was really entertaining and also important at the same time, which is really rare to say when watching shows like Bakugan. The first half was a little bit of silly fun, but also established a new arc that will come in this season. The second half was an important message to their audience tackling the issue on racism. They really handled it very well in my honest opinion, without being so obvious about it, but I sort of feel like maybe this should have been a Winston episode. Maybe he could be the one to teach Skeletor the lesson, or maybe Leia or Shun. But regardless, it was a good message, especially with all the things that are happening right now. I swear to you, the timing of this review episode's release was purely coincidental. This episode really did all the things right: the build up, the characters, the new parts added to the lore, the action, and most importantly, the message. This episode of Armored Alliance was Bakutastic! Thank you for watching this review of Armored Alliance. Be sure to press the like button and give us a subscribe for more awesome Bakugan content. I've been Haru Ren, and that was Bakugan. Bye!